One of the biggest problems I've noticed in the last 7 going on 8 years as a business owner in the residential construction industry has been the lack of distribution or the lack of marketing or lack of understanding the information from the Contractor State Licensing Board, which is the governing party over contractors, disputes, and is really here for you as the consumer to help navigate, understand, and kind of all areas of a project. They are also here for the commercial side, but just more directly talking to homeowners and consumers directly. The problem has been even being aware of this website. It is a beneficial website. They do provide a lot of information. They are just not out there as far as marketing. There, you don't see them on any commercials. You don't see them too much on the radio or some of these kind of common areas. You have to look them up a little, research them, and then come across this website. They do have social media, um, but again, finding that in the common areas to get to their social media. But they are really here for you as a consumer to help you guide you through your project, through your process, through your contract, and work with your contractor and understanding um, what that might look like. So starting with just being able to get to this website, they are the governing party that oversees contractors, projects, conflicts, and details complaints. Starting with hire a contractor, 10 tips for contractor. I think this one takes us to that other one. But you can see how old these videos are, just not being updated. It does have good information. Hire only state licensed contractors. In the state of California, you must be a licensed contractor for any project over $500, including labor and material. And that's just to ensure that you are getting a good contractor, quality work, and at the end of the day, a good project being completed by a professional. In the state of California, in order to get your contractor's license, you must have 2 years apprenticeship and 4 years journeyman. Meaning, again, they want you to have that background experience that you have handled um, whatever license you're getting. There's, I think, 38 different licenses: electrical, plumbing, stucco, drywall, carpet, flooring, roofing, tile, and so on and so on. So they want you to have 2 years apprentice, 4 years journeyman in order to apply. And that just again ensures that you are getting a professional that has handled certain types of projects that they might be doing in the future, and being able to provide good quality and service with that experience behind them. Um, so that is a requirement. Number two, use the Find My License Contractor feature. So you can go here and look up contractors based on the city or city or trade. So if you're looking for a specific trade, if you need a landscape, and here are the different trades. Engineering, this is the one we carry, general building contractor. Remodeling, insulation, boiler, framing, cabinetry, low voltage, concrete, drywall, electrical, blah, 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 and so on and so on. So you can look up by trade and by city, and that'll provide you a list of starting points where you can uh, give these contractors a call, get their information and give them a call, check their license, get some information on their background and their company. Check contractor's licensing number. So you can check their license either by going to this website or by calling this number. We'll do that feature again here. license check, and it's also at their main page. And I'll use my license as a sample. So with the license number, again, why another big reason why you want to work with the licensed contractor is you get their business information. So you have a physical location that uh, you know where they are doing business out of. You have the entity, you have the issue date, the expiration date, the license status, the classifications. So contractors can have multiple licenses. Bonding information, which is kind of like car insurance. If I were to get into an accident at your property, break a window, fall off a ladder, and break that window, so it's just you just file a claim, and if the contractor can't pay out of pocket, or it becomes bigger than a small breaking of a window, and maybe you hit a you fall on a very expensive car, and workers' compensation information. Um, all contractors with employees must have workers' compensation. Sometimes you can see this area blank because there is contractors that are uh, a one-person company and don't have any employees and won't require workers' comp. If you click on that personnel list, then you're able to see the owners of the company. It could be multiple owners. Currently, I'm the sole owner, the issue date, uh, and then if they are associated with um, other licenses or have been associated with other licenses. Versus, hiring someone off of Craigslist, not having any kind of background information of who they are, their experience, or if they're just going to run away with your money. Get at least 3 bids and check the references. I like this for homeowners, just being able to understand different approaches from different contractors, getting different information on how contractors set up their contract or their bids, understanding what's provided in each. Maybe you like something from one, and but like another contractor to do the actual work. You can tell him or request that change to add a certain dialogue or phrases to your contract. Being able to tell the totals, different totals, and just compare different estimates and bids. Just good information for the consumer that they can get from different bids. Make sure all the project expectations are in writing, and only send a contract if you completely understand. This is where it gets a little more technical. So we'll go here on what should be on your contract. Here are some precautions to follow while dealing with contractors and binding an agreement. A contract is a legal agreement between two or more people. A written agreement is one of the most important communication tools for both you and your licensed contractor. It ensures there are no misunderstandings about what a job will include. A thorough contract tells how the work will be done, when it will be done, what materials will be used, and how much it will cost. Disagreements over home improvement projects can cost time and money. Besides producing bad feelings, they can also lead to lawsuits and other legal action. A well written contract can prevent that. So, in California, there must be a written contract for all home improvement projects over 500 and combined labor and material costs. The contract must include specific information about your rights and responsibilities. So, besides the actual project details as far as building an ADU and the pricing and the materials, you do have some rights as far as being able to cancel your project or your contract 3 days before, and I think they'll talk about it a little more. What is a mechanic's lien? Should all be some prior information and rights that the contractor must provide to you before starting and signing that contract. In addition, any changes made to the contract must be in writing, be legible, be easy to understand, and inform you of your rights to cancel or rescind the contract. If you are promised something verbally, make sure that it is included in writing. Always have it in writing. And actually, for me, it works the other way. I give too much and don't get it in writing. What to include in your contract? A contract should contain everything agreed upon by you and your licensed contractor. It should be detailed to the work, price, and when payments will be made, who gets the necessary building permits, and when the job will be finished. The contract also must identify the contractor and give their address and license number. A good contract also has warnings and notices about the right to cancel, mechanic liens, and allowable delays. Um, get it in writing. Since a writing contract protects both you and your contractor, all agreements should be put in writing. It should be specific as possible regarding all the materials to be used. This is the part where I really think homeowners, again, just don't see this information, such as quality, quantity, weight, color, size, or brand name as it may apply. For example, the contractor should read install oak kitchen cabinets manufactured by company XYZ, model blah 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 as per the plan, not just install kitchen cabinets. Big difference in these two situations, and how specific you want to get when writing and understanding your contract. And then going back to this change orders, and I think maybe they'll talk about it again. Maybe let's be down here. Don't sign anything until you understand the contract and agree to the terms. This is kind of going back to why you want to get two or three estimates. Different contractors have different setups, which is completely normal, but understanding the different setups and what kind of benefits you, and maybe creating one contract out of the three as far as you like certain phrases or certain um, setups or examples that one contractor used, and you want to use that for your contract, um, helping you understand that contract before you sign. You create a nice setup, and anything you sign as authorization to move forward with the project could become the contract. Ask questions until you understand and agree all the terms before signing. You also may wish to review the proposed contract with an attorney. If that attorney is easily to you, it's always recommended. Make sure the contract includes everything that is agreed to, up to including complete cleanup and removal of debris and materials, along with special requests like saving lumber for firewood or saving certain materials or appliances. Also, give instruction regarding pets, children, and areas where materials may not be stored. Same thing, just kind of being aware of everything. And it's hard as a homeowner to, maybe it's your first, second, third project, um, to be aware of all the different situations or process you might run into, and having that in your contract. Um, maybe you have pets and you just keep the gate closed at all times. You have children and there's a lot of dust. We can create containment areas, um, just to help you cover yourself. Never sign a blank or potentially blank contract. Once you sign, both you and your contractor are bound by everything said in the contract. Make sure to get a copy of the contract and keep it in your records. Don't see this problem too much, as far as I don't think contractors are trying to commit fraud, but definitely just not a good practice to have sign a blank contract. Always update your contract. Even after you have signed the contract and the work already has begun, you may want to make some changes. If you added or subtracted work, substituted materials or equipment, changed the completion date, etc. Make sure to note it in writing on a change order and include any price changes. After a change order is signed, it becomes part of the written contract. You hear this word a lot, change order. A change order is a request to change the current project or the current contract. Sometimes it comes up both directions. You want to add to the project because you see a certain benefit of adding a window in a different location or um, any kind of additional work, or removing some of the work. Maybe you don't see the need for a window and you want to remove that window. A change order is a request for that. Change orders usually happen before the work is completed. That way, you both agree on the change, the price change, the time change, the completion date change, and are aware of all changes. And then it does become part of your written contract. Um, and it would just tag along there for your records. Swimming pools, make sure that you receive a checklist for homeowners swimming pool. One must be provided in the contract as well as a plan, scale, and drawing showing the shape, size, dimension, and construction equipment specifications. Swimming pools are a special um, trade where it just becomes, since it's a much bigger ticket item, they want contractors to provide even more of a checklist for homeowners. Um, Make sure they are aware of everything. Make sure your cancellation is in writing. You may cancel within 3 days of signing a contract, but it must be mailed before midnight of the third day. So this is one of the rights that should be noticed to you when signing that contract that first day. You always have 3 days to cancel, and the contractor must let you know and provide that in writing. Make sure the financial terms are clear. The contract should include a total price, when payments will be made, and whether there's a cancellation penalty. You should expect to make a down payment on any home improvement job. The down payment should never exceed 10% of the contract price or $1,000, whichever is less. As a contractor in the state of California, we cannot charge for more work. um, we cannot take payment for work that has not been yet completed. So if your project is completed 10%, you can only take a 10% payment. You kind of want to agree with that on your contract when payments will be made. Um, so and maybe the contractor completes 40% of the project and you take 40% of that budget and make a payment towards that. Along with that, the down payment should never exceed 10% of the contract price or $1,000, whichever is less. So before starting any project, the contractor cannot take 10%, should not exceed 10%, or $1,000, whichever is less. So any project over $10,000 would exceed this 10% and would only qualify for the $1,000 down payment. And that just helps the homeowners not get um, not get their money stolen, not get their um, not place a big down payment on a contract or with the contractor and then have the contractor just run off with $20,000. So contractors can only get 10% of the price or $1,000, whichever is less. There's no exception to the down payment rule noted above. If there is one exception to the down payment rule noted above, if the contractor has a blanket performance and payment bond on file with the CSOB. The bond is one of the amount. The bond is in the amount of the work the contractor does at any one time. So this is a special bond that contractors can get and usually is more um, used in commercial projects, bigger projects, but can be used for residential small projects. And this just kind of puts an insurance over your money as a homeowner. And if a conflict were to arise, you can request this because request your money kind of through this insurance because the contractor has a insurance for specifically the money. So that's kind of what should be on your contract. That's kind of very basic information, but also just good to be aware of. Where are we? So we went over that. Confirm that the workers' compensation insurance for employees. So any contractor, like I mentioned, must have workers' compensation, and you will find that in that bottom area, workers' compensation of any insurance, effective date and expiration date, and make sure if they're going to have some employees on your property to be aware of that. In most cases, we're paying more than 10% down or $1,000, whichever is less. We just went over that. Avoid letting payments get ahead of the work. That's kind of a good one. Um, Again, no, it's actually legal in the state of California for contractors to charge for any uncompleted work. Um, so definitely avoid making that payment if not necessary. It just creates a gray area for contractors to run away with your money. Keep a job file for all papers relating to the project, including all payments. As much as you can track of the project with dates and timelines and payments and completions, it just helps you keep your project in order. And if ever you have to come back for any conflict or resolution, it's nice and in order for you. Avoid making the final payment until you are satisfied with the job. So make sure the job is 100% completed and you do a final walkthrough with your contractor to your satisfaction, um, and taking that. Again, old video doesn't explain much, very superficial, over the top, kind of just skimming the top layers of 10 tips of working with the contractor. Um, but there is more information available to those 10 tips. Um, we went over a little bit mechanic liens. Um, 3-day right to cancel, 5-day right to cancel for those 65 and older. And just wanted to go over that real quick. Homeowners checklist. Did you contact the Contractor State Licensing Board? Check the status on the contractor's license. Did you call? Did you get at least 3 local references from your contractor you're considering? Did you call them and did you see the work the contractor committed? Does the contract require the contractor to get any needed permits? Are the permit fees included in the contract? Did you read and do you understand the contract? Does a 3-day notice contract apply to you? 5-day notice, does the contract tell you when the work will start and end? Does the contract include detailed description of the work to be done, the material to be used, and equipment to be installed? If you're making down payment, make sure it's not 10%. Is there scheduled payments? If there is, you should pay only as the work is completed and not before. Did your contractor give you a notice to owner, warning notice describing the liens and ways to prevent them? Did you know, or did you did you know changes or addition to your contract must be all in writing? Putting changes in writing reduces the possibility of dispute later. Um, let's see what else is in this consumer. So just if you want more information, I'm here to help. That was just a quick run through of the problems that I see with the Contractor State Licensing Board: the lack of distribution, the lack of marketing, and the lack of understanding. And that's kind of where you find those areas that it's not easy to run into this website. You don't see it, you don't hear about it too much in common areas. That's the lack of marketing, the lack of distribution. They do have social media, but it's all um, kind of old information, and the lack of understanding. Sometimes some of these um, are very superficial and need a little more explaining or detail, or with someone like a contractor who has experience and has gone through some of these situations and can help you and guide you through one of your construction projects. So again, if you have any questions, I'm here to help. My name is Ulises Mata. I'm the owner of Prime Builds. We're licensed and insured general contractors with the state of California. We specialize in residential construction of new homes and ADUs. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to leave us a comment